Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to our review of Doctor Who Gambit. Oh no, wait, Rogue. Finally, left a joke there. And just welcome again to my panel. How you guys doing?
All right.
Good.
Great, don't care.
Hello.
Just get on with it. So, with Rogue, we are back in early 19th century, and something foul is afoot. Though I cannot remember how and why they ended up back there. But where they end up, something foul is afoot. Or should I say, a birdie is afoot. Let's just get people's opinions on the episode before I ramble on. Gaz, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts?
At first, I thought I wasn't going to like this episode, but the more it went on, I actually found it quite interesting. Because because I was a little bit like, they're being a bit ham-fisted with what's going on in the Bridgerton thing, and I was a bit Pride and Prejudice and stuff like that. But then, as the thing went on, all right, I'm on board with this. I liked Jonathan Groff a lot, and I loved his chemistry and shooting. I didn't think I was going to like him as much as I did because
Jonathan, not Joseph.
That's what I said, Jonathan Groff.
I thought you said Joseph.
No, Jonathan Groff.
Oh, it's just the way you said it. I thought you said Joseph. My bad. Carry on.
No, that's right. Yeah, so I thought him and Shooty's chemistry was a star. I mean, to be honest, like a lot of stuff I've seen him recently, apart from Hamilton, I've not really been a big fan of, like The Matrix and stuff like that. But here, he was great. He was dashing. He was kind of like, you kind of remind me of Mr. Darcy, as played by Colin Firth a lot. And that was great. The big problem I have is that Mel Gibson seems to be given little to do. I was like, I wanted her to have more to do. Because the thing is, it seems like they can't decide who. It's like, we're going to get the Doctor lots to do or Mel Gibson lots to do. We can't give them both something to do. It's just like, no, you can give both something to do and they both be important and integral to the story. And that's where my big fall down is. This is what Culture said, but I actually agree with it. That she just seemed to be a lot lost. I mean, she did kind of out one of them, and she outthought one of them, which was great. I just wanted more of her. But saying that though, I did like Shooties and Jonathan Gross seeing whatever they were going, and I was very into their story.
Okay, Lord Donkey.
Oh, there can't be any doubt that I loved this episode. It just all the references, like Shooty singing the Willy Wonka from the song from Willy Wonka. It felt like there were a lot of good callbacks to, like, what was the one that I had just thought of before this that it was similar to? But also, I was so happy that there was that moment of darkness towards the end of the episode where he's like, how long do they live? Oh, good. They can suffer for that long. So this episode ticked a lot of boxes for me. And a couple of those boxes are piss off the fans that are going to say it's too woke. So I'm happy.
Okay, Simon.
I absolutely love this. It's proper meat and potatoes. Doctor Who running around, monsters, spaceship, witty lines, really well written. Shooty's nailing it as the Doctor. She's a really good companion. I mean, bashing birds, flattening birds' beaks with a book. I mean, that's so Doctor Who, isn't it?
Like Friday night out in England.
Yeah, exactly. Get off.
Birds, flatting birds, you know.
And back in the day, there was the girl in the fireplace. This is the boy in the fireplace. And it's like Doctor Who, the greatest hits this series. And I'm absolutely here for it. It's like a best of album. I absolutely adored this episode. It was fun, silly, and as camp as tits.
All right, Alexia.
Yes, I think the answer to your question is that, plain and simple, that Ruby is a Bridgerton fan, because that's her reference for her generation. I was a teenager when they televised Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth, and I think every girl had read this book because of the TV series. and there's a parallel because obviously we are fans of things. We have cosplay. We play D&D. Although the inconsistency of some of the writing of Rogue is something I dare say I'll come to. As I've seen, I just rewatched it for this, and I've now seen it 3 times in total. And what else occurred to me? It's very late Regency era because I think they've done Victorian too many times. This is 5 years before Victoria. Mind you, it's a big era, long era. And I enjoyed it. I don't think it's the best. But it's a long way from the worst. It's an above average episode. It's definitely not filler. Especially, that's the point. Right. 2 women writers, whose work I don't know. And this is the first episode not to be by a Doctor Who showrunner in how many years? It's been the same 3 blokes for literally years. And one episode, this was the one episode of this season where we have new, fresh writers, and let's hope more, and let's hope not all a sausage fest going forward. No, actually, yeah, I would love to see them again. I think with Rogue, it's the same as it was with Captain Jack. That the character was RTD's idea, but he gave it the first appearance to Moffat, and I don't know what the brief was to those 2 writers. You can tell it's by different writers, and it does. While I like it, it does feel a bit like somebody's first Doctor Who, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it. Doesn't, yeah, and it's possibly the most enjoyable without going full music. Well, no, they didn't go full, but I did grow to really enjoy the Devil's Court. This is a bit toned down, to be fair. It's not. And actually, this was a wonderfully because I was expecting more. Well, obviously, the character Rogue is not a villain, but I was expecting camp villainy. This is like another Broadway star. And you think, obviously, of George III, and you think of that kind of thing, but actually, a very understated performance, which really worked. And he's got the smouldering. The Doctor congratulates him on his brooding. So very Colin Firth. And I like that he's more serious and more stoic than Captain Jack. And yes, and I think it's fair to say the show has gone gay now. And yes, so, and all of the objections are from people who think that these things are new. They're all to things we've seen before. John Pertwee sang as the Doctor. And 9 and 11 both kissed men. And so what's never actually been done before? Well, giving the Doctor. Oh, I'll tell you what. Oh, that's another thing. One more thing before I hand over the floor is tropes. One person said kill the gays trope. It isn't, because they're setting it up. They are going to meet again, obviously. And the fanfic in between is going to be fun, I dare say. And may get a tad risque. And the trope that is there is queer people and love at first sight, because to any straight people, it's not really like that. That you're just like, no, they're the one. I know it. I've known them for a full 40 minutes, and we kissed that time. And yes, I must find the but yeah. So that's what comes to mind. But a very enjoyable episode.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was an enjoyable episode. It was gay as hell.
Happy Pride Month.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
as it falls into the Pride Month,
Mhm.
it was perfect. Yeah, Look, I love Jonathan Groff. I think he's a spectacular actor. He can go any which way. I mean, if you look at him in Hamilton and how wonderfully camp he was and theatrical he was in there, and then you look at the phenomenal Mindhunter and how kind of somber and late and kind of pulled back his performances in that. This guy has range up the wazoo. He is phenomenal. He was a great. I wish I could say he would be a great addition to Doctor Who. I don't want this to be the last time we see him. Because him and Ncuti's chemistry was phenomenal. I mean, this could literally, like, if he does come back, you can have it as just one of the best sci-fi romances out there if they get the chemistry right. Just them two going, adventuring, like, could ditch Millie now. It's like, bye, Roseanne. I got myself a man. Ditch her out the way. Them two just go on a nice sausage fest across the galaxy and shoot things and bang other aliens. I don't know, whatever they want to do.
Sausage fest
I'm
across
here for
the
it.
galaxy.
Yeah,
I'm writing that down.
What's that?
I'm writing that down. Sausage fest across the galaxy.
Yeah, man. Sausage fest across the galaxy. Spread the rainbow. Whatever you want to do. Sonic screwdriving and screwing and whatever.
Each other.
These sound like they should be like gay, like acts, euphemisms and stuff like that. I mean, did you know that this was made by the person? I think it's the showrunner for the first season of Loki. I think it is the first season.
Oh.
So this show was written by the showrunner of the first season of Loki.
Of what? Loki.
Loki, yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. No, I didn't know that. I don't pay much attention to that kind of stuff, but that's great. No, that's awesome. But, the my biggest gripe was with Rose in Ruby, not Rose. In that, she didn't have much to do here. And I felt that the minute the kind of bird is about to do something, that's when the extra element of her mystery should have kicked in. And just essentially kind of role reverse and just froze that bird
like
to death.
Bad Wolfed it.
Yeah, because we've had all the snow kind of stuff and the kind of callbacks to the and it should have been like a what the fuck moment, because we knew there and then when she came through, nobody in the audience was buying the fact that was the cosplaying thing birdie. I forget the name of the species.
Achilda?
Yeah, something like that. But it was also nice to see Indira Varma back. She had a couple of episodes in Torchwood as well. And she's been a staple on British TV since my uni days. And I've always had a huge crush on her. She's like stunning.
She's
brilliant. Sorry, what's that, Simon?
She's beautiful, isn't she? And she can
my God, she is ridiculously beautiful. And I tell you what, she absolutely hammed it up beautifully in a way that I've never seen before. Once she had the bird costume on, proper arch, and I was here for it. I was like, she's always playing like subdued kind of characters, but here it was nice to see her arch it up, and it was, like I said, everything about this episode was like it was, it had Queen energy. That's what it is. It had Queen energy all the way through, and I thought it was great. Not my favorite episode, but there was, apart from like Ruby's thing, there wasn't really much to hate about it. It was, as you guys said, it was extremely Doctor Who, and I was perfectly fine with that. That's the kind of Doctor Who stuff that I remember. It was just that kind of stuff. So that being said, we will go into our what we liked. I've already kind of discussed what we didn't like, but why don't we talk instead? Do a little bit different. Why don't we talk about the Rogue? And because there's obviously theories that it's that I forget that actress's name who played, was it Silver or something like that in Doctor Who before. She was like oh God, what's her name? What's the actress, man? She was in
what was the character?
Hang on. Let me see.
Is that Doctor's wife, River Song, that kind of thing?
Hang on. Let me. You know what, you guys, just talk about Rogan, what you think about him, and I'll look for it.
That scene where they go into his spaceship and then they go into the TARDIS, it reminded me of 10 and 11 comparing their screwdrivers.
Yeah.
I've been in a shed before. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's like, you call that a ship? That's a ship. It was a crocodile Dundee moment.
That's a proper ship
I-
and a float.
I just love the fact that in both ships we have like gay soldiers. So we have Callum and Oaks. I can't give you out of my head. And then we have.
Do you guys notice the color of the Sonic? How they
Yeah.
used to do with the suit. Now it's red, and it's turning it back
Oh, I
on.
did not.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
joke about single guys as well, you know, and it's like, oh, you're single, so you live like this, and then and the doctor's like, this is what surfaces look like, you know. It's just like, and the whole episode just struck me, and especially the chemistry between those two. It's like having a mad night out, getting a bit pissed, getting really clicking with somebody that you like. I mean, whatever persuasion you are, and you think. And then you suddenly think, oh my God, is this the one? And then they're gone by the end of the night. And it's like that
Or
kind
by
of
the morning.
thing. Yeah, or by the morning. Yeah,
Oh.
depending on how fast you work. But it's...
No,
it was-
sorry, River Song, not Silver Song. It was River Song.
Right.
Alex Kingston. There's theories banding around that might be like a new incarnation.
I think that they've emotionally
I
ended
hope
that
they don't
story.
do that.
Yeah, I
I-
loved it, but I think it's over. Yeah.
I think this will be Shooty's River Song. I think that'll be the version of River Song, like the male River Song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Paul Dickey.
So I feel like they tied up River's story so well with Peter that they don't need to bring her back. They don't need to bring her back as a different person, as a regeneration, because she gave up her regeneration energy. I hope they don't do that, and they can just let this be a new character.
Agree. Because I'm the same way. I want Mo to be this sort of like space bounty hunter pirate character that like kind of like sweeps the Doctor off their feet and then pisses off for one reason or another at the end of the episode, and sort of like he's sort of like the misbegotten Morris. If you want like almost like Vash, or like I think Christina Hendricks, the character she plays in Firefly, just a character that just comes in, like totally messes up the flame love life of the Doctor and then pisses off again. And I want that. I mean, because there's not enough characters like that in just media in general. Just like a character who's just there, just that is useful for like one episode and like proper like this is Doctor, but they're going. I'm sorry, I've got to get up for work in the morning. I'm just going to go home.
Intermittent and chaotic energy. They did this with Sherlock and had Irene Adler, and she came in and she totally messed him up, and then just left again. And she was like, only a handful of episodes, but really hit home to the audience.
That's how it is in the books.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Just want some comments here. Holograms of the Doctor confirmed.
Yes,
Richard E.
that's
Grant.
why I've dug this one out.
Oh, that's why he did that one. Shaka among the
So
Doctors.
I knew about that, but I don't know enough to understand where they're going with that.
Yeah,
Well,
was meant
I
to
mean-
follow Paul McCann's Eighth Doctor, but was scrapped when Christopher Doctor's was greenlit. So it goes 10 and 11 are now 11 and 12. Got to rethink the orders of the Doctor again.
Well, the Fugitive Doctor messes that up already. Plus, Richard E. Grant was the Great Intelligence.
That's right, and he did such a good job in that.
This is going to be a while back, but I'm sure that he was one of the regenerations in the
Comic Relief.
the Comic Relief.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know why we bother numbering anything anymore, because the numbering of the Doctors is messed up. The numbering of the series is messed up. It's just like a free for all now, because like the War Doctor as well. So it's just like we're constantly trying to slot things in, and Russell's going, messing with your heads.
Just
Well, I
stick
think-
to the 0.5s, like the War Doctor being 8.5, or
But I think like again, so when we're numbering the Doctor, we're numbering the Doctor in the series that we know. But in reality, this could be like the 10,000th iteration. So I think it's important to ditch the numbers because, again, that restricts it. Because if you do want to go in between and stick a bunch of shit in between that, then you can do that rather than have it more linear like we expect it to. Because there might be some times where you just think, oh, actually, between this and this era, we could stick something another. You know how it goes. It's like Star Wars. They'll just fucking retcon everything
and Big Finish do that anyway. Like they find a 5-minute gap in a TV episode and they stick a whole box set in there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the audio producers of like the official audio producers of the radio series. And they exploit any known gap and then just stick a new companion in and then Dalek and whatever.
Yeah, that's it. It's just they do that with everything. Like I said, like Star Wars is a good example of that. We'll just stick it like every 5-minute gap. They're like, yes, we'll do an entire trilogy in there, and it's just like, okay, fine, then just rewrite the law. It's okay to rewrite the law if it was too, because like again, if I look at Star Wars, George Lucas's law was too restrictive in a lot of sense, and it was dumb in a lot of sense as well. So it's just like, don't follow things too strictly if you can get away with it and make it good.
Our lore is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
That's it. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Well, speaking of which, it's been confirmed, I think, that the broadcast order of this season is not as intended, which does make sense of a lot of things if you're following it.
Oh.
I will say, hence, there's that supposed 6-month gap between Space Babies and the Devil's Cord.
Right.
And then in Boom, the Doctor says that's her first alien planet, which is a bit odd. But to be honest, I'd have ordered them differently from this anyway. I wish that this episode should have gone earlier. We know that the Devil's. Right, yeah.
I think this should have been episode 2.
I agree.
And save Devil's Cord for later.
Yeah.
Just talk about my favorite bits. Like, to be honest with you, this is one of my favorite cold opens. Just when like he's talking about like having it off with like his sister and which way was it in the library? Was it in the stables? Like, fucking hell, how much action does this guy get? And then all of a sudden he just
Sex and Cluedo finally together.
And then the guy
he shoved his lead pipe in her and all this kind of stuff.
And then the guy just like grabs him and goes, why did I pick this? And he just picks him up and he's like, oh my god, that was dead. And all of a sudden this lighting comes up and then all of a sudden like he turns into it. I am the sexy one now. I was like, okay, that's it. That's the tone we're going for, is it?
That's proper Doctor Who though, isn't it? Like you get like kind of, okay, we're in the past, 2 characters, one of them kills the other, walks off into the night, and then into the credits. That is pure Doctor Who.
Yes.
Yeah. This will be the writers kind of like doing their research. Be like, okay, so I'll just follow the formulaic layout of a Doctor Who, and that's why this felt like a Doctor Who. Yeah. Because you've got writers who don't know Doctor Who, so what they do is they go by what they've seen and they get the general feel of it. It's how it is when you're kind of not invested in something, but you want to play it safe. And yeah, this is why this kind of reeks of that in a very good way. I'm not discrediting the writers. If they want to come back and do more, then I don't think any of us would be against it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the fact that it's set in like Georgian times because the bosoms were heaving a lot in there. And I was like, Bill Gibson's a lot more well endowed than I gave him credit for. Not being a bit creepy, but I will say this though, like it was very well done. Like the picture of Susan Twist, who went, who's that? Oh, that's my mother-in-law. I went, okay, good mother-in-law joke. I like that. Yeah, I love that.
We saw a portrait of Susan Twist as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Twist still continues in it.
Yeah, but he says that's my mother-in-law.
Yeah, that was a cracking one. What else did we have in there? Was there anything that stood out in the Rogue's ship at all? By the way, design of that was beautiful. Gave me very Klingon vibes. But it was really nice.
The only thing that was standing out to me was Kylie Minogue, and that was it.
There was a giant teddy bear.
in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
teddy bear. What
What was that about?
We don't know.
I think that's another fandom reference. As this guy's very odd in what he picks out. He plays D&D but didn't know the term cosplay. He and he got 21st century music. He didn't know the word police, presumably, because he says shed twice. So police public call box is meaningless to him. So he's researched the time and place that his mission is for, and he's a fan of 20th and 21st century things like the role play game, the music, but not been very fastidious. Maybe he's a bit new to the culture. He's picked up a couple of, or maybe getting into role play games was part of his research for understanding what he was hunting, because that's basically what they're doing.
Yeah. Or maybe he's just kind of
Welfare
more into
initiative.
late 20th century's post like police box era stuff. And,
Well, maybe, yeah.
yeah.
And I think
they-
it was a bit derogatory as well, like mine's bigger than yours kind of thing. Oh, that's a shed. This is my eagle-like spaceship. Look at it. It's a man
But,
thing, you know. It's just
Compensating
How is
for
he able
something.
to time travel though? How is the bounty hunter able to time travel, or we're just kind of using points in space to hit a certain point? Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like bounty hunters time travelers as well. I found that bit like
A
kind of
lot
weird.
of people think he's an alien. I don't think that's confirmed. Could he be a future human? And could he be a former time agent like Jack?
That could be.
Could
But
be.
rather than the wrist strap, maybe the ship can go back in time somehow.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know
yeah.
because he has that.
Yeah, Vance, I
that,
agree.
I agree.
so where? Can I ask a question? Maybe I'm missing it. So that red triangle thing, where exactly did it go? Because there was a couple of
It
times
was
I thought it was killing
sim-
people, and then there's other times he said, "Oh no, it's transporting people." It's like
It's a
so
it's like an
maybe
interdimensional transporter.
Yeah.
So they can
Okay.
go anywhere in an infinite number of dimensions. So
Yeah.
he's still out there, but where?
Yeah.
This is it. And I think, yeah, it'll be definitely good to kind of have him back again because there were a lot of questions unanswered in terms of his time placement, the interdimensional stuff. And, you know, I mean, it could pick up where he's in another dimension with the birds and he's just like, okay, doctor's not around, just kills them, shoots them because that's his main intent. And then his adventure of escape begins or some shit. I don't know.
or
you
he's
know,
running a KFC in this.
Running a KFC in the 80s. Yeah, and we have a Stranger Things crossover or something. He's gone into the upside down. That's where he's been transported.
What the commenter David said about the prosthetics, brilliant. That one with the eyebrows, amazing.
We're out to here.
Glorious.
and the flattened beak was hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So, okay, I think we've pretty much covered everything in that episode. We could just go into ratings unless anyone else has anything else they want to talk about.
Well, they mentioned Bridgerton. Obviously,
Mhm.
he's singing that line from Willy Wonka. Have any of you seen or heard the theory about the pantheon that the Doctor is the god of television? That's why he's got breaking the fourth wall.
Oh.
So I thought with the mention of, because they keep mentioning shows, they keep like having the Doctor or someone break the fourth wall, although that hasn't happened as much since the beginning of the season. But just something I keep in the back of my mind when I'm watching, like, oh yeah, there's another reference to something. There's another pop culture reference. So
Interesting.
Actually, sorry.
No, go on.
Given this is the last one before the two-part finale, I'm surprised you didn't say to do predictions. Or are we ending on that?
Oh no, I'm going to that after the ratings.
Okay, fair enough.
So we'll do the
Can I-
ratings.
okay.
Because it's not related to the episode. Then we're going to predictions. Simon.
can I just appreciate for a moment the wittiness of the script? Occasionally, it had like really zippy dialogue, and I just and Ruby's reactions, like, because it shows up kind of like how Rose used to do, or Donna to some extent was like, she's common as muck, really, and like she just like our times compared to the Georgian times of common as muck, we're more common as muck now than they generally were back then. And I thought that, and she's like kind of the reference to Stilton being a difficult cheese. Was just beautiful. It had real moments of shining in the script, and I could just imagine the two writers sitting across from each other on the laptops, cackling their heads off as the writer.
I've got to say that was the worst chat line I've ever heard in my life. Like, I was literally going up to her, going, says, "Would you like to escort me for the evening?" And she's like, "Oh, possibly." And he goes, "Well, I think that you look good on my arm." And says, "Nah, I'm all right then, mate." And it's like, no, yes, he is a Stilton, a very difficult cheese. I just love it.
Great. Okay, so we can go to ratings and then. Oh, go on, Alexia. Did you want to say anything else?
Oh, I coughed. Sorry.
Oh, all right, Gaz.
Out of 10, I'm going to give this an 8 because, again, I don't know how representative this is of gay relationships or anything like that, so I can't really speak to that. I'll just state that this was a really decent Doctor Who episode. I really liked it. Your scary monsters, and it showed some humanity in Shooty's. I thought this was one of Shooty's best performances, to be honest with you. So, 8.
Yeah, I agree with that part. Donkey.
I'm giving it a 10. This was one of my top favorite episodes of the season. I do agree that there was a little bit of a lack of Millie at some points. I'm like because when he has that flashback to talking to her mom and I'll keep her safe. I'm like, yeah, where have you been this whole episode? But at the same time, the rest of it was so good. I loved it. So it gets a 10.
Okay. Simon.
I'll give it a 9 because I absolutely loved it. It was slightly short of Millie, and it is probably my age. Everything seems like a bit too breathless for me now. It like slow down a little bit, just a little bit. Catch our breath, get the ebb and flow, and that's what And it's kind of like an overall series feeling that. But apart from that, it was lots of running around, monsters, a bit of silliness, a bit of wit. Brilliant Doctor.
Okay, so Alexia.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 because I enjoyed it a lot more. I think I tend to enjoy all of them on the second viewing. Maybe not a lot more, but I liked it on the second viewing. I've enjoyed it more each time I've watched it. I think moments of the writing were maybe a little bit clunky. There's maybe what I perceive as inconsistency, or was there not enough Millie? Maybe I thought the psychic jewelry thing was maybe a bit convenient to sort of pull out suddenly, all of a sudden for this episode. I didn't even notice on first viewing how in the background the violins are playing modern day tunes, which presumably is the psychic jewelry doing that.
They're played by Billie Eilish,
No, Billie Eilish. Is Billie Eilish? Hang on, Billie Eilish, I believe, is a woman.
Yes,
yeah. And there's one bit of Lady Gaga, the fight sequence. It's
Bad Romance.
I thought it was Poker Face, but okay. But it was Lady Gaga. And but as I said, really, an enjoyable episode. But my main thing is hoping to see Rogue again, but it won't be. It's not going to be this year though. But as an ongoing thing, the odd mention, and we'll get Rogue again. But 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Sorry, it's out of 10 now. Sorry.
It's out of 10. Yeah.
Are we doubling that?
Oh, I'll go 8 out of 10 then.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's fine. If you want to do out of 5, that's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this episode. I'll give it an 8. I was going to give it a 7, but I only because it did feel with Simon that it did feel a bit rushed in places, and it did need to be a longer episode. If anything, this should have been one of the longer episodes just to kind of get more in with the Doctor and the Rogue. But other than that, it was an enjoyable camp fest. It made a certain vile community kind of froth at the mouth. So I'm all for that. You know, it just plays into, you know, look, the Doctor, in my opinion, should be a pansexual character. He shouldn't like, you know, be like hetero or gay or just anything, you know, whatever. And it's good to see like with the Doctor. What I did love about Shooty's performance in this is like when the Rogue's gone, another opportunity for love's gone. It's just like, oh well, got to get on with it, bottle it up, move on, and you know that's eating up at him inside.
Actually, that's one of my favorite scenes is when like Ruby basically says, "No, you need to confront this. You need to lay it out."
Yeah.
And then like that, she gets to it and she gives him a hug and like he lets it out. And I'm like, thank you, because it actually makes him more human when he does that.
Yeah, although this was one of the occasions where the emotion felt earned. It would be so much more powerful if we hadn't seen him cry over far less in early episodes. Like end of last week's, this week, okay, we're seeing him cry for, and obviously, boom, he was under a lot of pressure, and it was certainly pacey. And of course, and my theory of this Doctor and why he tends to be, obviously, at the end, he's trying to hide his emotions and be upbeat, which is more Doctorish. My theory why, for the most part, this Doctor is so open about his emotions is that he is, if you remember, the post-R&R therapized Doctor because of the previous one. So excuse me if I'm repeating myself from a previous week, but it actually at the time felt slightly jarring that all of a sudden he was putting on a face when it feels like the Doctor, but it didn't feel like this Doctor, but maybe because it's more personal, I suppose. And really, it might, for all we know, although this Doctor knows he's gay or in some way queer, this might be the first time he's really been involved with somebody or got close. Might be his first kiss as this Doctor.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, yep. That being said, so pretty high marks across the board. Well, we can talk about the finale now because it's a two-parter. So I will leave it to you guys to discuss. I've avoided seeing what's coming up next. Not that I care, but Simon, we'll go with you.
Oh, blimey. Yeah, you got just thinking, I've just watched the trailer just before I came on, and you got I just want to say before we delve into it, when Mel says, "Doctor, something's wrong," and suddenly it's 1987 again. And I'm a kid, and it's just exactly the same. And it's the same show, and it's the same format, same bloody woman, brilliant. And it's just, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. That hit the goosebumps straight away. But Susan Twist, yeah, part of her name anagram is TARDIS.
Yep.
Saying there's lots of theories going around that she's Sutekh or Sutekh's daughter, or that she's like some sort of other god. I think that her as a human on the stage in the trailer, she's some kind of psychic doing like kind of a psychic show like Derek Akora, and like somehow that she's an avatar of an alien like they all are. That image of her with the grey skin and the grey eyes and the horns, nightmarish. That is like straight out of my nightmares. They say that someone's going to die. Are they going to kill off Mel? I do wonder. Or are they going to go down the route of the Sontaran stratagem and kill off the fit unit soldier? I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be somebody from that unit thing that'll get killed. Probably one of the ex-companions or whatever will get offed there. Okay, Donkey, we'll go to you, then Alexia, then Gaz.
For predictions, I'm not sure. I saw the part with Susan in the trailer. So it seems like we are going to address that directly now that they've kind of noticed that, hey, we're seeing this woman's face a lot. But I'm not sure. I've heard that theory about the Doctor not knowing that he's part of the Pantheon. Will it deal with someone else from the Pantheon? Seems like a good guess to me, but I'm not really sure what to expect other than the part from the trailer where I know it's, we're going to get the part where he crashes the TARDIS through the tower, Avengers Tower. So I'm excited. I'm going to watch it, and we'll see.
Okay, Alexia.
Well, it's all got to tie in. Let's not forget with Ruby's origins, and origins are an ongoing theme in this. Where I spotted something on Rewatch, which is, of course, because we all had time to forget about Mrs. Flood, the Anita Dobson character,
That's right.
who did appear in 73 Yards halfway through the season. And I spotted there's a bit where she says, and I love it when they do this, a seemingly innocuous line. Oh, it's got nothing to do with me. And on Rewatch, it's like, no, come on, let's remember her in the first episode. They snuck that in. Nothing to do with you means something's got something to do with you, because you were the character who knows more than you're letting on. And I think, with regards to certain things at least, Susan Twist is going to be a bit of a decoy. A lot of people think that Susan Twist's character at least knows something about Ruby's mother, not that she is Ruby's mother. And I don't think Mrs. Flood is. I actually thought what would be clever is if at least the person who drops her off at the church was in fact Trudy from the first episode, the lead singer of the band. But the fact that she's been dropped completely, other than being mentioned in the Devil's Cord, makes me think that would be too much of a cheat, because not much attention was drawn to. In fact, I had to look up the name Trudy. That's why I knew it's her who's referred to in the Devil's Cord. But best friend, apparently. But mind you, the Devil's Cord was meant to come later, halfway through the season, mention Trudy again. And so, yeah. Another thing, obviously, is we had... Oh, hang on. Two things here. One, we had the god of games and toys, I suppose. We had the god or goddess of music, and I suppose dance comes under that. And then what does come next? Of course, Harbinger, Maestro's son, appeared at the end, not in 1925, but in 1963. And obviously that's got to be there for a reason. We don't even know if he ever grows up. Will he appear as a kid again? Because Maestro could appear looking the same in different eras. She was way into the future, wasn't she? And so are we meant to have again, if Devil's Cord had come later, because it feels like a cheat if you're given long enough to forget that Harbinger exists. But with Mrs. Flood, fair dues, they could point to, well, she was right there in the first episode, Chekhov's pistol, and you can't say you forgot about her existence because she's in the midway mark of the season, and they did slip in that sly little nothing to do with me.
Okay. Yeah, Gaz.
I think Susan Twist is possibly like, do you like the giggle where it was a laugh put throughout history and done like that? Her picture, it could be because we've gone through games to music. We could be like, she's like the goddess of imagery, so her image is maybe something that's distorting reality in that way. That her image is something to do with distorting it, and like whenever pictures are taken about it, it's always in a specific place and there's some sort of like reference point. And I think it could be Mrs. Flood is like the rally and has like places specific times so that she can become powerful. That's my prediction if it's going to work well, because I think that Susan Twist is just a tool for what it's used, and because she's talking about, well, I have these dreams and stuff like that. So the fact that because dreams, and there's always been this thing that dreams and filmmaking are very similar, because there's an artificiality to both. So it could be that plays a part in it as well. So that's my prediction. Now, again, will they do that? I don't know, but I hope that's kind of the way that they go down. That Susan Twist is just a tool where, like, maybe she's just a very powerful psychic, and like she can like populate people with dreams, and she gets everyone to imagine her image and stuff like that, and she can imagine herself in different places and stuff like that. Because that would be great, I think.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. That's our theory. There's the actual experts' theories on what may or may not come in the 2-part finale that is coming. And with that being said, we won't be here next week. We will be waiting for the other week because Dr. Simon will be attending a Doctor Who convention. He'll be whipping out his sonic screwdriver for everyone to see that. And Alexia is actually going to wait to go and see. Is it both the final episodes in the cinema on the 21st?
Yes, but obviously because I'm admin of groups and things, I can't avoid the first of 2. But it'll be big screen, and knowing historically they'll throw you some extra stuff anyway. And but oh god, I'll be in the cinema at midnight by the time they actually show us the final part, and I've got to get a night bus. And yes, but I'll have a day to recover before we record the podcast. So there's that.
How exciting for you though, seeing it at the cinema. I saw the day at the cinema, and it was just
awesome. Yeah, I missed that. I was ill that time.
Oh god!
I remember seeing the 50th in theater.
Yeah,
that was 3D as well. I've never seen Day of the Doctor in 3D.
And when Tom Baker spoke, and you heard Tom Baker's voice.
Oh god, yes.
And the whole thing
you might.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, on that note, we are going to leave you with that. So join us in 2 weeks where we'll be doing a 2-episode review and any further discussions that the group wants to talk about. With that, thank you for everyone in the comments. Thank you to my lost companions. And we